Hi, it's everybody's least favorite time of the year, tax time, and especially with everything that's going on that last year gave us with unemployment, different amount of money we're making with rideshare and everything else, taxes can be a little bit scary. So we're going to dive in and look at exactly how I did my taxes so that you can help do yours. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Tyler from the RideShare Guy. Today we're going to be taking a look at exactly how you can use TurboTax or any software really to do your taxes and the complex difficulties that go with that, and hopefully it'll make it a little simpler when you go to do yours. Let's get started. So the very first thing you want to do before we even start getting into TurboTax and putting our information in there is to make sure that we have all the right documents. Now, typically, if you had a W-2 employee, like you had a regular job, you'd receive that W-2 from the company. You might log in online or something for it. Well, you want to make sure you get the same documents. It's not going to be a W-2. It's going to be something else. But you want to make sure that you get that exact same thing for Uber, Lyft, Instacart, whatever you typically would drive for. I haven't been doing much Lyft lately, as we'll see here in just a minute. It doesn't look like I did any for 2020. So we'll take a look at exactly what you need. So first, this page we have the Uber earnings. So anything you're going to need, whether it's a 1099, I didn't drive enough to get a 1099, but that information will be right here. You also need your yearly summary. So it's going to have all of that information right here. So it'll tell you how many trips, how many miles, fees that were accompanied by that, and things such as that. So let's take a look at Lyft as well. It's going to be very similar. So as you can see, I didn't drive at all in 2020 for Lyft. I mostly did Uber Eats and Instacart and things like that. I just started Instacart at the end of the year, so most of the income I made from rideshare driving was from Uber Eats. But you would see the documents would be right here, and 1099s or anything like that would be right in this location. Instacart is a bit different. This is the first year I've done Instacart. It just had a few $100s on it. Let's take a look at that. So with Instacart, you sign in under the shopper's information, and all you get is the payment history relative to today's date or in a specific time period. So if it's last year, you'd click last year. And that's everything that I've been able to find on that. I would assume if I made enough, I only drove for a couple of days in 2020 just to try it out. I've made way more money already in 2021 with Instacart, so it's definitely know more about it next year. But that's what I've got this year for that. So that's the information we have. So now let's jump over to TurboTax to actually input this information. And actually, with TurboTax, they'll draw this information specifically from Uber and Lyft for you if you just log in. But it's best to still have the information just in case so you can look at it to make sure that it's accurate when it's entered. So let's hop over to TurboTax and get started. So one of the reasons that I really like using TurboTax is it keeps all of your information from previous years, and it's really simple. You look at it, it has got a new job, bought a house, marital change, all of these things you can click right away. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people, including myself, clicking received unemployment. I didn't get unemployment, but my wife did. And so this is something we're going to definitely have to check and see how it works this year. So we're going to start here and see where we go. So have quite a few different options here. I typically try to go with a free or cheap. As self-employed, you have to have with all of them, TurboTax, Tax Act, whatever the case may be, you have to have some sort of paid one. This one, it looks like the cheapest is $90. As Uber drivers or Instacart drivers or most any of them, there's typically a discount. So check that first just to see. I'm going to actually go double check right now to make sure there's no discounts. So quickly going to Uber's website saved me $90 already. I was going to do the $90 one. I'm going over to Uber, signing in, looking at quick Google search on Uber TurboTax discount, signing in through that way on my computer. Actually made the $90 one, which is actually a really good price already, down to free. So we're going to get started with that. Saved right off the bat, we're already up $90. So happy. Looks like it says there made rideshare or taxes easier for rideshare drivers. We'll see how much easier it is. Anything that's happened. Sold stock. Received stimulus. Retirement plan withdrawal. No, we didn't do any of that. See what else they have for options. Social Security, I didn't do that. New employer, bought a home. New child. I think technically I have to put new employer because I also started driving for Instacart last year. So we're going to include that as well. If that's not the case, we'll take that off later. Looks like there's some more. Something else. I'm not sure what it would be included in the something else. I'm not going to click on that. We're going to keep going with what we got here. Just gives you some information about all the different things with your taxes. Unemployment may be taxed. You receive different forms. Didn't receive payment for stimulus and such like that. You might be eligible for it now. 401k withholding. So very typical stuff. But again, this is really straightforward. Again, one of the reasons I really like TurboTax is you can just kind of go right through and answer the questions. I like this. Last year was tough. Let's make taxes easier. Definitely coronavirus tax resources. Let's take a look at that. Sign now, save time later. So this just allows you, again, this is part of the paid option. They'll actually get all the information for you, or at least all the information they can get from W-2s or things like that. It mentioned that it's making it easier for Uber drivers, so I'm kind of curious to see if they pull that over too and how that works with mileage and things. So we'll take a look at that in just a minute. But I'm going to sign this and we'll go to the next page. All right. After we get through our first basic questions, the make sure our social security number, address, and marital status haven't changed. We have any dependents, things like that. TurboTax does their first try to upsell. So this one, we've already saved a little bit of money that we were kind of planning on paying. So let's take a look at what they are. Audit, identity loss, identity. For $60, it's not a bad price, but don't really need it. So we're going to keep going. All right, now we're working on the part where it's for the rideshare driving. So it's a side job, it's a business. I'm not sure why I didn't automatically put that it's a business because, as we know, as rideshare drivers, we are a business. Click continue. No, she did not stop driving. She did not pay other people for it. So it's asking if she had contractors or things like that. Checks this information. What I really like about this is that you can then log into the account. So you click on Uber. Okay, sounds good. And we'll put our information in and be right back. All right, once you put the information in, they simply connect to it. They pull up all the information that you drive. As you can see, my wife doesn't drive all that much, but she made a little bit of income with it, so we're going to track it on this. Super easy with TurboTax. Just click continue. Once you get there, then they're going to get into expenses. It's going to look at all the possible different expenses. The biggest one, of course, is going to be mileage. That's the one we're going to make sure we take care of. So vehicle, talks about rental fees, supplies like cleaning supplies, cell phone accessories, refreshments for customers. So if you had any of those things and you tracked it, make sure you have it. One of the most important things is that you have to have a receipt just in case you get audited. You have to have proof that you actually spent these things. So, estimating is not an okay thing. You can't say, well, you bought this for this much cash or whatever. You have to have proof that you did it. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these reports for your income. All right, we're going to pause it for just a sec while I put some information about our cars in. So it asks about the standard mileage deduction. 9 times out of 10, that's the best way to go. If you kept track of your actual expenses, you could input all of that specifically, but most of the time, and how I've always done it for the last several years that I've been doing this, I always just do the standard deduction, and it's the easiest, and it usually gets me the most. So that's what we do. What's cool about TurboTax, I keep going on and on about TurboTax, but they have a audit assessment to see how likely you are to get audited with the information you put in. So for this, as you can see, we're very low, which is exactly where you want to be. If there is an issue, they'll tell you what it is and have you look at it beforehand before it's even submitted. All right, so once you have inputted all of your income, they give you a big thumbs up. They say you've done a lot this year. What's interesting is with the very next page, yet again, they're trying to upsell you on something. So you've already got the free one, which is what we got before. They're trying to upgrade you to get additional things. I like that it says state included. Living in Florida, there is no state income tax, so we don't have to worry about that at all anyway. So I just continue with the same one I have. If you want more help, obviously it's available for a price, and it's really not that bad of a price, $85. So if it's something you're interested in, then go ahead. And so we've put all our information in. It does the last check. Says we look good. So let's see what happens now. 2 details for our review. So we'll see what that is. Okay. We'll just double check on these. All right. As you can see, we owe some money, which is great. Not so much actually, but that's all right. We'll work with that. So it says it's guaranteed, and we'll yet again try to get us to purchase an additional service, but that's all right. We're going to continue with what we got and see where we go from here. All right, once it is all set and ready to go, you can choose to file by mail or e-file. I've always e-filed. Filing by mail seems kind of crazy to me in that today's day and age. So you click on that, and it asks for some information, so we'll put that in. And so the last page, it has you to confirm all of the information on here, then click on Transmit My Return. And we've got a nice little graphic telling us that it's being transmitted and that they're doing all their work. It's really cute because, there's obviously not all that going on. And they ask if you'd like to rate them. I'm just going to skip it. No rate and review from me today. And it says everything's done, and let us know if it's been accepted. So we'll see. In the years past, it always says it takes 24, 48, 72 hours. I usually get something back within an hour or so, letting me know it's been accepted. So that's it. You're all set. Thanks so much for following along. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will let you know that, like I mentioned while I was recording the going through everything, it actually was accepted. My tax return was accepted within about an hour and a half after I submitted it. So it's really quick. No audit, no problems, nothing. Obviously, I still have to pay, which we're working that out. We fortunately knew that we were probably going to have to pay, so we've been putting money aside, so it's not a big deal for us, but we were able to take care of that. But hopefully this helped you. If it did, please let us know. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We have new episodes coming out almost every single day, so please subscribe. We appreciate it, and stay safe out there, everyone.